there's always a say that history always repeats itself, but probably that always that I use there's an exception. But in this scenario, if you check the July 2023 level, if you are looking at ETSY and you check July 2023 level, you'll see that the same thing that occurred in July 2023 want to reoccur in July 2024. As you can see, we have a fake breakout at this level, and then price came back and the price started moving to the upside. So then there's a significant event that really happened last year that caused this event, you understand, and then we have a fake breakout and price come back into that level, breaking and continue to the upside. And then in the last couple of weeks, we've seen significant weakness in the US dollar. And last week, we now saw strength coming back into the US dollar. And as you can see, this thing relates. What happened in July 2023? As you can see, we have a fake breakout here too. This July 2024. And then you can see price came back and then came back into that zone. And on Friday, the Friday daily candle closes bullish. So assuming the Friday daily candle closes somewhat bearish, or maybe let's say we have like a reversal candlestick here like this one, or probably maybe we have a big weak rejection candle, we could have said that okay, probably this week we might see the continuation to the downside. But as you can see right here, what you can see is that we actually saw that the Friday candle closes bullish, as you can see. So this is a bullish candle right here after we saw a fake breakout of this level, and it break back to that particular area. So what does this tell us? So if you see what really happened in 2020, that's 2023, it might actually repeat itself, and then price might actually go all the way up, and then we'll see a break of this particular level to the upside. That is a US dollar strength might actually continue right here. So my own bias next week, that's what I'm looking at next week, is US dollar strength, and then we can actually see the break of this level to the upside. If this sustained, and then we didn't see, maybe probably on Monday we didn't see any bearish candle closes above this level, then what you should be looking at is US dollar strength that will actually break this level to the upside. Hi guys, this is Ambafx, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are just watching this for the first time, this is where I bring you the latest insight in the world of forex market, the fundamental, the technical, and the sentimental analysis. So do well to subscribe, like, and share. So before I go to the individual currency, there is a link to a verified broker in the description box. That is Forex. You all know that we use Forex. It's a regulated broker, and then very soon I will introduce a prop firm to you, verified and then a very reputable prop firm that you guys can be using. And then the accounts are very, very cheap. You can get $50 account as low as $32. You understand? 5k account here. I want to say 5k. So you can get 5k account as low as $32. So probably in the middle of the week, I will do a video about that prop firm. So I just partner with them, and then I will do a video about it and show you guys but for now, what we have for now is the reputable broker, which is the Forex. So click the link in the description box and join. So verify with NIN and start trading. So after this, we are going to the individual currency. But before we move to the individual currency, because the currency I lined up to trade this week are the US dollar PS. You understand? Because we've seen a significant week in the US dollar for the past couple of weeks. Let's say like 3 to 4 weeks ago, US dollar is weak. But I think the strength is coming back into the US dollar. So apologies for not making video for like 2 weeks. It's due to some personal reason. So please accept my apology. And then for the individual PS, let's check the economic activities first, and then let's see what we have next week in the economic activities. On Tuesday, we have existing home sale from the United States, Richmond Manufacturing Index from the United States. On Wednesday, we have the Euro news, that is a PMI. As you all know, PMI is a leading indicator news. You understand? So what happened in the PMI might actually affect the currency for the rest of the month. Just keep it at the back of your mind that anything you see at the PMI, probably maybe positive or negative, might have a big impact in the currency till the end of that particular month, till they drop another one. You know, there's an exception. An exception is if there is an interest rate maybe report, but after an interest rate report, there is a PMI. Just focus on the release of the PMI and see the direction of that currency pair you are trading. On Wednesday too, we have the from the pounds, that is flash service PMI, and the flash manufacturing PMI from the pounds. Wednesday too, we have the euro, that is from the German, the manufacturing PMI from the German, and then, you know, from the French also. So on Thursday, we have the advanced GDP. This is where you should be focusing on. Wednesday too, don't forget, 2:45 p.m. Nigerian time, we have the PMI from the United States, that is manufacturing and the service PMI. It's a high impact news, so it's going to move the market. You don't want to be at the wrong side of this move. And on Thursday, we have the unemployment claim, advanced GDP, and then advanced GDP price index too. On Friday, we have Tokyo Core CPI, that is the inflation report from the Japanese yen. So what I want to say about the Japanese yen is that it has it started leaving the weakening zone, and then it's going to be strong next week. And if you see the JPY PS, you'll see that especially the JPY index, you see that it has bounced off that particular low, and then it's moving higher, which means that they left the negative interest rate some months ago, and they are proposing or increasing the interest rates this July before the end of the month. So that FED, can we call it FED? I don't know. You can actually call it FED. Can actually bring more strength in the JPY, and then you see the likes of JPY selling, US dollar JPY selling, and then probably maybe SND JPY, UD JPY going to the downside. And then one of the weakest currency last week is the SND. So probably you might actually see the opportunity trading the SND JPY next week, because you see some weakness in that particular pair. And the JPY too, if you see JPY to the downside, these are my favorite pair and what I'm looking at to trade next week. So let's go to the individual pairs. So the first one I want to check is gold. As you can see, gold is in a range because we've seen a breakout of this particular zone, which price later come back into that particular zone right here, and you can see this range. So probably you might see, and this is a daily time frame, don't forget this is a daily time frame, not a 1 hour or 4 hour time frame. So don't forget that price might actually come back, probably maybe we test this area, and then we'll see price coming back to this low, or probably breaking this low to the downside, with what we actually saw previously in the DSY. And probably don't put your mind in correlation. Correlation might not actually work, but let's hope it work. And if it work, we might actually see that gold might actually break this level to the downside. And if you go to the 4 hour time frame, you'll see something there. So there's a break in back to this level, as you can see, because this is a resistance level that got broken, and price still come back into that particular zone. So which means that we might actually look for a selling opportunity, probably maybe on Monday or Tuesday. So check how Monday candlestick reacts to this particular area. Any any rejection you see at this particular level is an opportunity for you to look for a bearish movement back to 2,300 on gold. So that's what I'm actually looking at. So I'm looking to sell gold next week, probably on Monday. But on Monday, I will check how price reacts to this to that particular level. So, and people might think that this is a trendline liquidity. Personally, I don't think so, because we might see price coming back to this level and then reject back to this particular level. And this is one of my favorite this thing on gold. These are my favorite analysis on gold. If I see this kind of thing, most of the time it always works out, because you just see a push in price and then a decline in price back to that particular level. So the next pair is pounds US dollar. Pounds US dollar 2, what I'm actually looking at is break of this particular range to the downside. If you see, this is a range right there. So any rejection you see, because on Monday you should look for a retracement back up. So if we now see a rejection back, then we should be looking for a move back to that particular level, because some people might actually say that that is a demand level without knowing that the big demand level is right here, and this one might be invalidated or will be invalidated. This particular demand level might actually be invalidated, and then price might actually pick this one, probably maybe to the upside if let's say if anything stop otherwise, and then put it on daily time frame. You see that place is a very, very strong support level. As you can see, this is a very strong support level. Price reject here to resistance, price reject as resistance, price reject as resistance, and then price break the resistance. So probably price is coming back to this particular area, probably to retest this demand level. As you can see, this demand level is of the daily time frame, and then you see a lot of support level at that area. So price might actually use this demand level, and you see price going to the upside. But for me, next week, what I'm looking at is the GBP USD to the downside. So I want to sell this particular pair, but what I will actually wait for is Monday. So for probably Monday candle to respect this a little bit, because I know this will happen. Price will respect it a little. This one, price will respect it a little, and will be like it want to reverse, and then you see a breakout back to this demand level. So at this level, this is where I'm looking to sell GBP US dollar next week at this particular resistance level, because there's break of this low. This low has been invalidated, so price will push up and then reject. So I'm bearish on GBP USD going to the next week. The next pair is Euro USD. I'm also bearish on Euro USD going to the next week. One of the reasons is that if you check the daily time frame, you see that this is a very, very solid resistance level right here, and when price get there, there's a rejection. It rejects on Thursday last week, and on Friday too we have the daily candle closes bearish. But probably on Monday we might see maybe let's say a retracement back to this level, or you might actually break this level, and then and you actually see a rejection there. So any retracement you see here is an opportunity for you to look for a bearish setup back to 1.08200. So if I actually put it in the let's say 4-hour time frame, you see what I'm actually talking about here. And for price to be here, like I said in the GBP USD, we might first see price bouncing this particular level. Let's say price might actually reject it for some few pips. Price might reject it. Here is a very, very strong level for price to reject at this level, because you can see. So here I'll be looking for a selling opportunity at this area back to this particular low right here, because as you can see, if you put the trend line here, see that there's a breakout already. We already have a breakout here, and then let's see how price reacts to this particular level. But this is where I'm looking to short any probably maybe 4-hour rejection I see at this particular area. I'm going for a short position to 1.0070. So that's what I'm going to do next week. I'm a sell bias because of what I actually showed you guys on the DSY, that we're going to see DSY strength next week. EUR is another pair you should look at. What surprised me about this EUR is during the outer trend line, price break. This is the inner trend line. So the outer trend line too, you have a break of that particular trend line. So let's see how price react, but there will be a big pullback, probably maybe to this particular to still break this to the upside, or maybe at 0.670386. So one of it will happen. So on Monday you have to wait. If you are on sell bias, you have to wait for price to actually probably maybe reject at this level back to the upside. So my bias on AUD USD is a sell bias, or I'll be waiting for price to do what it wants to do around this area, and they're waiting for rejection to the downside. And the next pair I want to check is SND-USD. SND-USD too, there will be a very big pullback before price really go to the downside, because if you see this area, there's a upward move, a pullback move, upward move, pullback, as you can see. So this is what I'm actually looking at, for price to still pull back to this area, because we'll see some level of support. If this did not pull back, we'll see something like this happening in the market. So if price now pull back, you should be looking for a sell opportunity at this particular area to the downside, which will break that particular level, and then this is where the support areas lies. And as you can see, there is an invalidation of this particular low. This low has been invalidated, this low has been invalidated, and then after this low has been invalidated, what will remain is for price to come pull back, make a deep pullback, and then you have a rejection to the downside. And the next pair is a US dollar Canadian dollar. US dollar Canadian dollar, expect a pullback, but I believe that with these support areas holding very strong, this particular area, it hold very strong, and this is when you say that there will be a trend line liquidity, because we have a breakout of the trend line against the trend. As you can see, the trend is up and the trend line break to the downside, which means that it is invalid. So it came to reject at this support level, and then it bounced up. Next week you should be looking at a pullback from this US dollar card, probably a pullback back to this trend line, and then you might see a break of that trend line, maybe probably on Wednesday. This might actually happen, a deep pullback to the trend line, and then a break of the trend line to the upside. So probably watch the US dollar card next week. And if you check the Canadian dollar index, you will see that it is very weak. So let's go to the Canadian dollar index. So Canadian dollar is very weak. As you can see, we have a breakout already of the Canadian dollar currency index, which tell us that we might have a weak Canadian dollar next week, coming to the downside. So let's see what US card we do right there. But any pullback back to this level is an opportunity for you to look for a bullish setup that will break this zone, this zone, and then probably that will break all of this particular zone right there. Especially we have the news on Canadian dollar next week. JPY, my bias is to the downside. As I said, Japanese yen want to go for another rate high. That's the rate high in August, probably in July. In July they might come with another one in August, but they are going for one in Q4 2024. So with that, you can see that there is a decline from this top back to this particular area, which means that this is not a small sell, this is an institutional sell. So from this area, which means that we should see maybe probably price pullback back to this level, we should see a decline, probably maybe back to this level, and then this level right there. So that's what I'm looking at on Canadian dollar JPY. I'm looking to sell Canadian dollar JPY or do nothing going into the next week. So guys, these are all the pairs on my watch list going into the next week, and then you have to just trade safe, and then don't forget to use your protective stop loss. So check this analysis, and then you need to observe how price reacts to all those areas I mentioned earlier, and then you need to put your lines there, and any rejection you see should be an opportunity for you to enter, probably maybe buy or sell, irrespective of what you want to trade or what you see or what I actually said I'm going to do. So stay safe, and then don't forget to click the link in the description box and register the verified broker. So that's all for now. See you again.